reasons are built on shifting sands,
I know,
shall we say.
I know, then you're not allowed to do that.
And of course the judge has got reasons perhaps to...
There are ways round it, which is the lay advisor route, so you can talk to somebody who's a non-qualified advisor. And I've ensured that MPs could get access to the information through that route.
So if we were to say that Edge Media TV, for instance, is a lay advisor...
Yeah, but you couldn't put it on the box, you see, that's the thing. So it's like they could talk to you to get advice.
Perhaps I could get every viewer to write in and say, can I be a lay advisor?
I think Am
I pushing it a bit?
I think you're pushing it a mite there, and somebody might try and get you locked up. It does happen.
I wouldn't like that.
They still do lock, and they lock people up in secret as well. So they lock people up
in secret.
In secret hearings. All right.
So if you were to offend some law to do with the secrecy of the Children's Court, you could go to another. Prisoners. Well, you wouldn't be a secret prisoner, sure.
No, we had a case of that where the Times were not allowed to identify the name of a prisoner. Seriously, yeah.
But he went through some judicial process, didn't he?
Yes, he was locked up in secret. He was the man who drove this woman to France, to Dover.
But was he not charged with something in a court?
Well, it's contempt of court. Or the point about these things is that he was locked up. He's out of jail now. I spoke to him a couple of weeks ago. But he was locked up and you couldn't print the details. And I tabled a motion in the House of Commons about it because I'm allowed to do that. Well, but we had a big row about whether it was sub judice or not, which is a strange law in the House of Commons, well, rule in the House of Commons, which is fair enough up to a point.
You can say whatever you like in the House of Commons, can't you?
Not if it's sub judice.
But if he's already in prison,
yes,
and
but
the judgment...
the family court case is continuing, you see. That's where the complication lies, because you have the criminal case and the family court case.
So, let me just get this straight. This man who drove his wife to the Channel...
Yeah, you couldn't name him.
That you couldn't name, fair enough. But did he go... Was he charged with something?
Yeah.
And he went to court for it?
But he wasn't allowed to be reported.
But he did go to court and he did have representation.
Oh, he had representation. There's what have we got?
It wasn't like these people who get locked up with no charges against them.
No, to be fair, no. You just get tried in secret, and you know, you're not.
It's like the Stasi, isn't it?
It is a bit like that, yeah.
I am actually quite flabbergasted. I was aware of some of these things.
It is quite shocking what goes on. And I was very surprised when I saw all the different things happening. But people come to me because they know I have some knowledge of how to fight the system. And some of these cases I've got into the Court of Appeal and then into the European Court I've done by doing it myself. I had to learn how to do it.
I mean, you do have the advantage that you have those two letters after your name. That
helps up to a point as well. Article 9 and Article 13 of the 1688 Bill of Rights are both quite useful.
Because, you know, I mean, if they were to arrest you...
Well, they can't, because for some things, you see, because I'm covered by Article 9 of the Bill of Rights, which is why this is the long argument about Damien Green as well. But
so are we all, aren't we?
No, members of Parliament have... This point about privilege is very important as people talk about it, is the right to talk in Parliament about something without being arrested for it. So you can talk about secrets, official secrets, in Parliament. Duncan Sandys was the case in about 1935 or something like that. He was talking about things where he was concerned about what's going on.
In Germany.
And they were official secrets at the time. So had he talked about it outside Parliament, or it's a complicated argument, but had it been in a newspaper, the editor could have been locked up. All right.
Okay.
So, what MPs, in theory and in practice in the main, are there to serve the citizens of the country. And the right of an MP to do something without being locked up on behalf of his or her constituents is an important right, which is why the Damien Green saga is such an important issue, because he was only quite good at embarrassing the government. So the executive should not have got involved, and they're sort of recognising that, I think, at the moment, although there's issues there. It's a complicated environment. But coming back to the family courts, let's talk about the hurdles that are in... Let's talk about Fran Lyon's case. Fran Lyon's case is a good case to talk about, because it never got into the family courts. Fran, basically, she got pregnant. She had an angioedema, a thing called angioedema, which made her body seize up and her throat swell up. And so she got
That means a blood clot in her heart, doesn't it?
No. What it is that it's not a blood clot in the heart. It's where your skin expands, so it narrows your throat and you can't breathe. So she got a tracheotomy,
Okay.
All right? And the doctors said, you're making this up. This is in the northwest, where they make lots of Munchausen syndrome by Proctor allegations. And she met up with her first solicitor in the town of Hexham, who said, give up, they'll have your baby.
Hold on a second. So she'd had one of these attacks and dropped her baby or something?
No, she was pregnant.
Okay, but did she fall to the ground while she was pregnant?
No.
So there's no risk to the baby that was known at all?
No, but remember the doctors make
this...
money out of each of these allegations because they get these reports.
£5,000.
Something like that. Well, I saw one report was 28 grand, which is an extra special 800-page report.
What did it say? You must be burned at the stake as a witch.
It's a bit like
28 grand.
No, in this case, the particular expert was on the side of the angels and was saying the right thing. So I'm not critical about what he said in the report.
But he did get 28 grand for it.
Which was, there was a big row about that at the time as to who would pay for it, but that's another matter. But coming back to Fran Lyon's case, so her first solicitor said, give up, you will never win. All right?
Okay. And this was a solicitor appointed by the court, was it?
Well, no, it's not. No, it's
the legal aid. Anyway.
They're legal aid solicitors. Okay. She phoned me. We got her with a good solicitor. All right, William Bache, very good family law solicitor, somebody you can trust.
Well, you might as well name them. You have already. You might as well be clear about their name.
William Bache and Company in Salisbury.
In
very
Wiltshire.
Good people. Wiltshire, yes.
B-A-I-T-C-H?
B-A-C-H-E.
Very good people. Okay. Right. William Bache, Salisbury Wilts.
Yeah. No, if you're facing another problem people need to be aware of is changing solicitors on legal aid is very difficult. So if you've got,
it shouldn't be though, should it?
It shouldn't be, but it is. All right. Even the legal aid will refuse to allow you funding to contest care proceedings at times. So you can't contest the renewal of an interim care order on legal aid. All right? Yeah, I know. Just no. You go through... Fran Lyon's case is a good one to talk about because we're not stuck on the situation.
Right.
And we tried appealing all their decisions in the north and things like that, and they just wouldn't have it. So she went to Sweden, and she had a baby in Sweden January last year.
Yes.
And she's living in Sweden with her baby.
Right, fair enough.
The Northumberland social workers went across and said, she's really evil, you've got to take her baby at birth. And the Swedes said, we're going to ignore you to them.
Good for them.
Which is very good, all right? So, and she's had a baby and she's been